Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. So it's very early morning stream for me in Spain this morning. Oh, hang on, let me turn the volume down on that. So it's very early morning stream for me in Spain this morning. Gosh, it's coming on all over the place. Okay, so yeah, very early morning stream for me here in Spain. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 a.m. First of all, as ever, I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to all of you that subscribe, all of you that watch my videos, all of you that leave your DNA on the like button or your fingerprint on the like button. And I just want to say I've received a lot of emails this morning, and I'll say why in a minute. But I probably will not be able to answer all these emails because it's a massive amount. But I want to say thank you anyway. I do read them. I've read them all, but to sit and answer them all will take probably just an hour in itself. So thank you for anybody who contacts me with information about cases. It's really appreciated. And because there was a little bit of a development overnight with the Samantha Murphy case, that's why I've received so many emails this morning, and thank you for that. The other thing I just want to say before I start is thank you, as always, to all my members who really help to support my channel and help me carrying on doing the things I do. I'm going on location very, very soon, and my members are coming with me, and they'll be the first to know when I'm going and where I'm going. So thank you so much. And then also thank you to anyone who has bought me a Ko-fi, sent me a super, or in any way supported my channel. But if the best way to support my channel, as always, is to subscribe, to like, and to watch, of course. So thank you. Okay, so what happened last night? You know, I didn't do a live last night. I was very, very tired last night. And I just thought, no, I'm going to go to bed and wake up fresh in the morning, see if there's any developments in any of the cases that we've been following so far, that we're following at the moment. And sort of halfway through the night, I woke up, had a look at my phone, as I always do. Just to see if there's been any news, any developments. And it was saying that a new search had started for, you know, the police had said they were searching the area near where the phone had pinged. Do you remember that? So Samantha Murphy, of course, for those of you who don't know, I think most of you will know about her. But, you know, she'd gone out jogging on the 4th of February, a Sunday morning, gone out for a run, never came home. And what was very strange is about 5 o'clock that evening, because she went out very early in the morning, didn't she? She was out at 7 in the morning or something like that. And it wasn't until 5 o'clock-ish that evening her phone pinged on the Buninyong, I know I'll pronounce that wrong, tower. Now, where the police went to, now I say yesterday, in the middle of the night, of course, here in Spain, is in the daytime in Australia. So the police announced that they were going out. They asked the public to stay away from the area. They said they were going out to search, and off they went. So I saw this last night in the on the news, and honest to God, I went back to sleep in the secure feeling that, you know, oh, when I wake up in the morning around 6:30, they're going to have found Sam. Honestly, I was so hopeful that they were going out to do this new search, concentrated search in this area. I was so hopeful that they would find Sam, and I'm sure her family will too, because I'm sure her family are the ones that get to know first any developments like that, you know, that they're planning on doing a search or whatever. And unfortunately, that has not been the case. So let's start with when they announced that they were going to do the search. First thing I want to do, actually, I'm going to light my candle. Oh, And as far as I know, there's no new news about Riley Strain either. Another case we've been following about the young lad who left the bar and has disappeared. I think it's been about 10 days now, is it, that he's disappeared. I don't have any new news about that, but I probably will be doing an update on that later. Now, this morning, I've got some time because classes that I normally have this morning, people are on holidays, so I may well do several videos this morning. We'll see how it goes, if I've got news to tell you. Anyway, let me just light the candle. So we're lighting the candle for still hopeful. At least we know the police are still looking and they're acting on information that they're getting, whether it's from Patrick, you know, because there's a young lad obviously has been arrested for the murder of Samantha. And I think we have to remember this. He's not only has he been arrested, he's been charged with Samantha's murder. And the police would not have done that unless they were pretty certain that he did murder Samantha. So personally, I think that we can, you know, more or less feel that, I know it's alleged still at the moment, but to me it is likely that, you know, he has done it, because I don't think the police would have arrested him. Otherwise, it's very difficult to prove murder. And to go as far as charging someone, you've got to be pretty certain that you've got all your ducks in a row. You know, that you know, you're confident that there is enough evidence to prove murder, even though they don't have the body. And the other case we've been following, of course, is Madeleine Soto. I have got some things I want to show you about the Madeleine Soto case, but later on, not this morning. This morning I'm going to concentrate. I'm going to just look at this new search for Samantha Murphy, and then later, after I've had my breakfast, because I haven't had any breakfast yet. So yes, unfortunately I can only do one video at a time, but you know, there's so many things going on. Sometimes I do think sometimes I should just stay on, you know. Anyway, so before I actually start to show you, I best just say hello to everyone. Thank you for everyone who's here with me. Hi, Kelly. And Kelly's, oh, it's your son's birthday. Happy birthday to your son. Yeah, we're all intrigued, aren't we? What is Patrick saying or not saying? It's time for him to talk. It was always time for him to talk. Hi, Ocean Blue. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Amanda Jane. Hi, Mariah. Yeah, I was so, honestly, I literally, when I woke up in the middle of the night and saw that they'd gone out to search again, I was 100% convinced that, you know, that I was going to wake up this morning and there she would be, you know, or there it would be, the news that she had finally been brought home to her family. But unfortunately, it's not to be. But let's see how it transpired. So we're going to look at the news items that came out last night. I say last night, daytime in Australia. Let's have a look at some of the news items that, you know, gave this hope. Sounded, when you watch this, it sounds so positive. I mean, you know, they may go back there and find it, because it's not easy to find a body. You know, we don't know what's led them to this area. They said they're operating on various sources of information. It doesn't feel like Patrick's really saying much, I don't think. I think this will be from sightings, witnesses, pings, his pings on his phone maybe. Now, this area is not very far away from Samantha's home. So, you know, it leads to this, you know, how far would he have been able to take her? And I expect the police are still trawling through God knows how much CCTV, etc., to try and find out the movements of his, you know, they took away his car, didn't they? It's a Newt, like a white SUV, isn't it? And they took it away to do tests on it. Now, I'm sure they're still, you know, they've had so much information, which is a good thing, but it takes time to go through information. It's not instant, is it? But so that's obviously what's led them to this area. It must have been so disappointing for them as well, because of course the police will be keen to find Samantha, for the same reasons that we want Samantha to be found, which is that she, at least her family get her back and get some resolution. Yeah, so remember, he's just given us a reminder there of the story, and what, how it all transpired. Because when Samantha first went missing, I think there was hope that she may have just tripped over, had an accident, had a medical episode. The police were insistent in the beginning. There was no reason to think there was suspicious circumstances. And that all changed, didn't it, on the Friday? So she went missing on the Sunday, the 4th of February. The following Friday, the missing persons team were brought in, and that's when everything changed. So on that very same day, on the Friday, all the searches were called off. The police searches were called off. So they must have had some, when that missing persons team arrived, immediately something, they must have given some intelligence or found some intelligence to say call off the search, which was odd, wasn't it? The community continued to search, and the community went out on planned searches. They brought in Jake Cassar, the sort of bushcraft expert. There was Sausage Gate, wasn't there? There was all these arguments on the Facebook groups and everything about where the money was going, the donations, etc. Was it providing someone with sausages? I mean, it all started to get a bit sort of out of hand, but the police allowed all that to go on, and they just, in the meantime, unbeknown to us, were doing their own little inquiries here, there, and everywhere. And when the news came out that someone had been arrested, it was a shock, wasn't it? Because the police had gone very quiet. They then came out and did say that they thought the death was suspicious. Well, the disappearance was suspicious. After insisting for a week and a half that there was no suspicious circumstances, they then declared that they thought it was suspicious. They then, a few days after that, the missing persons, the guy in charge of the missing persons team, did a press conference and said that they thought Samantha was no longer on this earth, that they, had reason to believe that she was dead. And, that was like, what? It all seemed to, it sort of happened over a long time, but it seemed like these shocks, if you like, seemed sudden, because it'd be quiet and then a shock, if you like. And then the following few days after that, Shane, the police commissioner, the Victoria police commissioner, came on and said they had arrested a 22-year-old man, Patrick Stevenson, son of a famous, or was at one time, Australian football player, very well known in the community, a young lad. And he'd been arrested, and they thought that he had deliberately caused the death of Samantha. They're very careful in their language. They do say these things, that deliberately targeted Samantha, deliberately caused her death. They wasn't an accident. It wasn't a hit and run. They were specific about that. They said they thought, how they know, I don't know, that she had been deliberately targeted, and it was deliberate to cause her death. So strange language, really, that they've used. They're letting out so little information, but the information that they let out is quite telling, isn't it? Now, originally, they had said that they thought maybe more than one person was responsible for Samantha's disappearance, suspicious disappearance and probable murder. They then started to say that they didn't think anybody else was involved. They said the family are not involved, but people are still speculating about the family, etc. Because I think until everything becomes clear, people will always, think sort of sideways. But the police said family have cooperated fully with their inquiries. They've no reason to suspect anybody, etc. So, you know, this is where we are now. We know there's a boy in custody. I say a boy, he's a man, but he is a young man, 22-year-old man in custody for murder. He's been charged with murder. So, and that's where we are. Now, he doesn't seem to be cooperating. The police have said he's not cooperating with their inquiry, so he's not saying what he's done with Samantha, which again is leading to a lot of speculation about where Samantha's body may be, or what happened to it. What has he done with it? Has he, you know, defiled it, dismembered it? You know, there's horrible rumours going around. And the trouble is that rumours will go around until people know, you know, exactly what happened. So this is where we are. So this new search, because they haven't searched for a while, they did a search of the Mount Clear area before the arrest of Patrick. On the Saturday before they arrested Patrick, they did a search of the Mount Clear area. They said they were going to go and concentrate their search there. They did that, found nothing, or we don't know if they found anything, didn't say they'd found anything. Then, of course, at that same time, not far from there was the terrible mining disaster at the gold mine in Ballarat, where all this is going on, you know. So it's been like there's been bushfires, you know. It's been a bad time for Ballarat. It seems to have been one thing after another. Anyway, so that's where we are. So when they announced, you know, when I saw on the news last night, when I woke up briefly in the night, I honestly thought I was going to wake up this morning and to the news that Samantha had been found and brought home to a family, or would be brought home to a family. But unfortunately, it's not to be. So they said they won't be doing a media conference because the case is before the court. So now bear in mind, this case is not going to court till August. So, you know, we've still got 5 months. Oh my God, you know, to wait for answers. But because the case is before the court, makes it even more difficult for the police to say things, you know, because they don't want to prejudice the case, the trial. But of course, they weren't that talkative before, so to be even less talkative now, it's like, my God, are we? You know, we're not going to find anything out, are we? Okay, so that was one. I've got another one to show you. Right, so we're going to look at another news program again about when they announced that they were going to search. So this is when we had hope because that they would find something, because these are the newscasters announcing that there's going to be a new search.
Ballarat mother Samantha Murphy. Police are back on the ground at Buninyong this morning, south of Ballarat, 2 weeks after a man was charged with her murder. Gillian Lantouris joins us from the scene. Gillian, what's prompted the renewed search?
Kate, intelligence from a number of sources, police say, is what has narrowed the search down to this site at Buninyong, the Buninyong bushland. It is quite dense, quite thick here. There's a number of mine shafts and a lot of wildlife that police need to be careful of. But they are here. They are searching for missing mum Samantha Murphy. She went out for a jog early February and hasn't been seen since. Now, police, we've seen them on horseback, on foot, on motorbikes, all throughout this bushland here. About 2 weeks ago, a 22-year-old man, Patrick Stevenson, the son of a former AFL player, Oren Stevenson, he was charged with 1 count of murder over her suspicious disappearance. Now, it's understood he isn't cooperating with the police investigation, so it's unlikely he's the one who led them to this spot here. But police are really warning the public to stay.
So it's interesting, isn't it? So she's repeating again. Patrick is not cooperating with the police. So they're saying it's unlikely it was him that has given information to lead them to this spot. Gosh, you know, honestly, you know, again, there's rumours flying around that his mum is pleading with him to cooperate. I don't know if that's true or not, but if I was his mum, I would be pleading with him to cooperate, because Patrick He's done whatever he's done to Samantha, but he needs to try and save himself one way or another, either in this world or the next. Do the right thing. Say where Samantha is and let her family have some closure, something.
Away from the search site.
So here we go. So we've got, there's Ballarat. This is the Royal Park, Buninyong, which apparently is where they're searching. And this is Melbourne, the next nearest, the biggest city, I suppose, isn't it? That's near to Ballarat. Oh, and Kelly, have a nice time with your son and happy birthday to your son again. Yeah. So that's where they went to search, and it was, it was a very hopeful feeling.
They appreciate the efforts, but they don't want any evidence trampled on at this stage. But the mood here, it is quite hopeful. It's quite tense, but hopefully.
Yeah, it felt hopeful, didn't it? Honestly, I was so certain. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. I'm going to just go in straight and do a live to say that Samantha's been found. And unfortunately, that's not the case. But yeah, so they asked the public not to go there. They don't want the public trampling on evidence, etc. I don't know how they'll feel about it now, because remember, the public can help. We've just seen in the Riley Strain case that two TikTokers who were out there trying to help found Riley's debit card, I should say. So, sometimes the public can help. But they did, the police will not want the public to find Samantha's body, because not for any reason except for forensics, and also the trauma of finding a body. I mean, she has been sort of missing for quite a long time now, so it's probably, don't mean to be graphic, but it's probably a skeleton that they're looking for now, I would imagine. But it's still, it's not very nice, is it? So the police would probably rather that the public did not find the body. But having said that, they probably prefer the public find the body than nobody ever finds it. So be interesting to see that once the police pack up from here, will people go out there then? So apparently it's quite difficult terrain, she said, didn't she? Let's just go back a little bit.
Patrick Stevenson, the son of a former AFL player, Oren Stevenson, he was charged with 1 count of murder over her suspicious disappearance. Now, it's understood he isn't cooperating with the police investigation, so it's unlikely he's the one who led them to this spot here. But police are really warning the public to stay away from the search site. They appreciate the efforts, but they don't want any evidence trampled on at this stage. But the mood here, it is quite hopeful. It's quite tense, but hopefully we can get some answers for Samantha Murphy's family tonight.
Yeah, we'll stay across that story throughout the day. Gillian, thank you. China's foreign minister is in Canberra today.
Okay, so she's going on to talk about other news now. But so that was that must have been yesterday afternoon in Australia, or this afternoon, because it's nighttime in Australia now, I think. So there would have been a lot of hope. Anyway, about 8 hours later, the police called off the search, unfortunately. And let's have a look at that. I've got a news item. Yeah. Unfortunately, shortly after that, or 8 hours later, the search was called off. So let's have a look at that. Now that was interesting. It did say there. Let's see what Mark Hatt said. It was
detectives from the missing.
Oh, hang on. There was something there. Yeah, so Mark Hatt is the Detective Superintendent of Victoria Police, and he's the one that's been leading the missing persons investigation, and we've seen him speak before. And he said, hopefully today's search will benefit the investigation or provide further avenues of inquiry. For police, we will also look at further searches in the Ballarat area as the investigation progresses. So I suppose, because it feels very disappointing after that sort of hope, that they were doing these new searches and they're certain to find something, then felt very disappointing, didn't it, that they didn't find anything. But it's hopeful again. He said we will look at further searches, so they've probably got a few searches planned due to whatever information they've received from whatever source. We don't know specific sources, but I suppose at least it's encouraging that he says we will look at further searches, so it's not just that one's over. Because I think this finding Samantha is key, isn't it? Not only on a human level for a family, but probably on an investigation, for the benefit of their investigation. They obviously had enough information or enough evidence to charge Patrick anyway, without the body, without Samantha's body. So, because, to charge someone with murder, you've got to present your evidence to the public prosecutor. I expect the rules are similar in Australia as to how they are anywhere else. You have to go to the public prosecutor, present your evidence, and they decide if they think there's enough evidence for a case or not. And if they think there's not enough evidence for a case, that's it. You can't, they won't give you an arrest warrant. So they must have provided enough evidence for murder, even without Samantha's body. But of course, finding Samantha's body is key, for that evidence, to concrete that evidence, but also, of course, for the family.
Detectives from the Missing Persons Squad arrested a 22-year-old Scotsburn man. As a result of those investigations, he has been charged with the murder of Samantha. We're saying this was a deliberate attack on Samantha. In the interview with the suspect, he has not disclosed to police where Samantha's body is.
People just don't vanish into thin air. Someone's got to know something, whether it be any little thing that you might think's relevant, just call the police.
Okay, so that's it really. Unfortunately, it didn't come to anything. Have we watched this one? I'm not sure if we've watched this one or not. Let's have a look. Oh.
I know that Samantha's disappearance has had a profound impact on the Ballarat community. Some cases, some disappearances, some murders bring out outpourings of grief, and we've seen that here. This investigation is far from over, though. We'll continue at a very heavy pace. Importantly, doing everything we can to locate Samantha's body for the family is absolutely vital and something we'll be focusing on. Detectives from the Missing Persons Squad arrested a 22-year-old Scotsburn man. As a result of those investigations, he has been charged with the murder of Samantha. We're saying this was a deliberate attack on Samantha.
Yeah, so he's not in court again until August the 8th. You know, you're looking at 5 months away. So it is so disappointing, this, but it's positive that at least we know that they are still searching for Samantha. And it's not good to have some news, but it's so disappointing then when you get the news that they're going to search and then, you know, unfortunately they didn't find anything. But maybe next time.
In the interview with the suspect, he has not disclosed to police where Samantha's body is.
People just don't vanish into thin air. Someone's got to know something, you know, whether it be any little thing that you might think's relevant, just call the police.
Okay, so yeah, that's it. You know, it's very disappointing, very, very disappointing. But we've got to look on the bright side, I suppose. They're obviously, you know, conscientiously searching for Samantha. I'm sure one day, hopefully not too far distant future, the police will say that they're going to search somewhere and then there'll be good news as a result from it. Okay, so that's it. I'm off to have some breakfast. I've not had any breakfast yet. I just wanted to let you know what was going on in the search for Samantha. It has been quiet, hasn't it? And we won't receive any news about the investigation now until August, will we? Unless actually what a search that's conducted by the police results in Samantha being found. And let's hope so. Let's pray. Got my candle going, you know, so many people that we're thinking about, but also thinking about you know, not only the missing people that we talk about on here, but all missing people, because not all missing people get the same attention, do they, as people like Riley Strain and Samantha, etc. So, you know, there's a lot of missing people out there, and a lot of families going through very difficult times, wondering where their loved ones are. So it's you know, we put our thoughts out to anyone who's going through that, really. Okay. Okay, so I probably will see you again sometime today. There's a few things that I want to talk about. I may just do like a live later on today and just put everything in it. I don't know, because sometimes I feel I've got so many things to tell you. I could, as I say, I could just be on this permanent live stream. But, you know, occasionally I do have to go and eat something or, you know, do other things. But anyway, so thank you so much for being here with me. Let's just keep praying that the police eventually find the right spot and do find Samantha's body. It's a very difficult task, very, very difficult task in all that. You can see the bushland, etc. Very, very difficult. And now, you know, how well has she been hidden, you know, so. Okay, thank you again to everybody. So remember to live and love wisely, carefully. Have a fantastic day or a fantastic evening or a fantastic night, whatever it is, wherever you are, whatever your time scale is. And I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Yes, David, you didn't get up early enough today. No, it's like I think it's like the early morning streams are like with the Australian news, and then later on I'll be doing other news, I suppose. But anyway, bye bye. Oh,